Hello and welcome to Divine Downloads. I'm your host and spiritual mentor, Cassandra Bodzak, and this episode is all about this new moon in Aries coming up, the start of the astrological new year. I will be doing an in-depth workshop on this on the new moon in Aries, which is Tuesday, March 24th. You'll also be available to get the replay if you register. So all the links for that will be down below, and we'll be doing a ritual meditation. I'll be going even more in depth than I do in these podcasts as well, but I wanted to put this out there for all of you guys. I think this new moon is especially important with everything that's going on right now. We are living in just unprecedented times. I know you've probably heard me say that so many times, but we're living in a time that we've never experienced before. We're living in conditions we've never experienced before. And I think, during these times, coming together as a spiritual community, doing ritual, doing meditation, really honoring these energies is more grounding and important than ever. So I commend you for showing up and listening. I also encourage you to please, check out the workshop, join in on that workshop, or follow along on the replay. And like every moon, the moon is felt the 3 days before and the 3 days after. And with this new moon, this is really the start of the astrological new year in Aries. So it's like the cosmic new year, so to speak, where you're going to feel the intentions and the seeds that you plant right now for the upcoming year. It's really going to set the tone for the year. So I encourage you, even if you're watching this a few days or even a week later, this is an important ritual for all of us to do and to be aware of, especially because we had let's say the calendar new year a couple months ago, and life was drastically different. We were all in very different places in our lives in January than we are now. With the current conditions, with everything that's going on, with the coronavirus, with so many of us being self-quarantined, with so many of us shifting our jobs, either pivoting our businesses, or working from home, or perhaps, have even been laid off of work right now, the future is more uncertain than ever. And all of us have been dancing with a lot of our shadows. Things have been coming up, things that we may have been able to ignore because we were in our own busyness, we were focusing on other things, are now front and center for you to handle, for you to make a decision. Really, that's how I feel about this new moon. This new moon is a decision on how are you moving forward. What are you deciding this new identity is? How do you come out of this? Because none of us are coming out of this unchanged. None of us are going to get to the other side of the corona, quarantine, all of this stuff, the economy, all the things that are happening right now, and be the same person that we were at January 2020. We were living in a completely different world at that point, right? And now the realities of today have really shifted our perspectives a lot, have really changed a lot of our priorities. And like I said, have more than ever had a lot of us really dancing with our own shadows, with our own fears. And even in this, using this crisis as a great, what do you call it? Like a steam pot or something, right? It's kind of just bubbled to the top, the thing that maybe was already there that you were ignoring before. And so you have this opportunity now to create this new identity, to make these new choices, to say, okay, starting this new moon, this is who is emerging. This is who I am. This is the truth. Because a lot of what's been happening and will continue to happen is stripping us of anything that's really not us. Right? And it was really interesting. This is just kind of a silly example, but a true example is that I remember, before this, I was someone that really liked purses, and I had, my Rent the Runway subscription going. I liked having my dresses for events and for talks and stuff like that. And when all this happened, it was really apparent to me. I was actually just thinking of, my birthday was the end of February. So I was thinking of splurging on this, designer bag that I had been wanting for a while. And just as all this was happening, it really just made me completely shift that and think, well, why would I spend a few $1,000s on that right now if there's anything I'm investing on? And right now it's going to be online education. It's going to be mentorship or tools or things that I feel like are going to help me grow. It's going to be food and rent and taking care of that stuff as well. But I do think that there's a balance of also doing things for yourself and investing in that right now. But clearly my priority was not clothes or bags or anything like that, right? And I think all of us have maybe had different shakeups at that where we realize, like, oh wow, you know, where I even want to spend my time. We're like, oh wow, now more than ever it's important to FaceTime loved one. It's more important to call people, right? So we've had all these shifts and they're really showing us who we are at our core. What really matters? What do you wake up and what do I've been more lit up about my business than ever before. Felt more on mission than ever before. I feel more committed to help other women start heart-centered businesses than ever before because of all of this is going on. And I don't think that was something that didn't exist before. I think that was something that was already there, that this is ignited on an even deeper level. And so I know a lot of you are going through that same experience in your own neck of the woods. Maybe you always loved being a mom, but now having your kids home and going through all of this and seeing everything that's going on in the world, you're even more lit up by being a mom and spending time with them. Maybe not. Maybe you're more lit up by maybe now you're seeing the priority of creating your home as a Zen den, right? Maybe right now you're seeing the priority of giving back, of being on the front lines of being able to make a difference, right? There's not like a one size fits all revelation here. All of us are just getting even more clear now than ever because of the times, because of what we've been moved through, on who we truly are, and what that is moving forward. What does that look like moving forward? And Aries has this really like jumpstart energy, has a lot of energy to it, which I think is going to help a lot of us, those of us that maybe have been feeling lethargic or unmotivated or just like kind of in our feelings, right? Energy, Aries kind of like gives you a loving kick in the butt, to get you to move forward, to get you to start taking action. So this moon is very much about recognizing, who am I today? Who am I starting this astrological new year as? What are the intentions I'm setting for the person that I now see myself projected to be? Because in all my courses, I always make the girls do a visioning of what their life is in 6 months or what 3 months, whatever it is. And now more than ever, I've always encouraged them, keep coming back to it, right? I do it every new moon. I come back to that same visioning. Why? Because we're constantly evolving. We're constantly shifting. And so that vision shifts every time we shift, every time we're growing. And now with this new moon in Aries, in this auspicious timing, the version of our vision that is going to emerge is going to be so different. More nuanced, more on mission, more connected to what lights us up, more connected to our soul purpose than ever before. So I have a bunch of resources on, out there on YouTube, meditations that you can do to help get clear on this. We'll also be doing a really powerful meditation at my new moon in Aries workshop, on this as well, and a ritual to really lock this in, to really have a visual representation in your space right now of that identity that you're calling in, of this version of you that's stepping up with this new moon. So I hope that you'll join me for that as well. And I hope that with this new moon, you allow yourself the space to be in ritual, to be in meditation, to journal, to take that time to really honor this as a new year, because this is a new year. This is, like I said, we're not coming out of this the same. And of course the cosmos would line up for that as well, to show us that this is go time. This is go time. This is when we get to see who we truly are and step into that really powerfully. So get excited. This new moon in Aries is going to feel great. It's going to feel wouldn't say great. There's a lot of complexity with what's going on in the world right now. So, it's not as easy as or black and white as that, right? But the energy specifically of this new moon that's coming on, I think is really positive. I think it's a really positive kind of like fire under your tush to, I'm calling the workshop activate your medicine, to really call in what is the medicine I have to give people right now, or my family or my community, right? How can I show up and be the light right now? How can I be of service? How can I step into this more awakened identity that all of us are going through right now? All of us are awakening. It doesn't matter if you already awoke years ago. I mean, I've had my spiritual awakening over 8, 9, 10 years ago now. And I'm still, no, actually 12, 12, wow. But I'm still going through more and more levels of upgrades, more and more levels of awakening, as are you, because we're constantly shifting and growing and expanding to be not who we were yesterday, but who we are going to be tomorrow. And so I just think this is a really beautiful time to get into ritual, get into prayer, get into meditation, get into reflection, and be really conscious. Be a conscious creator of the you that's stepping up during this time. Like I've seen some memes going around saying, your kids are gonna ask you about this time in history, right? People are gonna look back at this as a time in history, and you get to write that story right now as to what it did for you, as to what it shifted inside of you, as to who you became because of it, and how you showed up inside of it. And so, get excited, get empowered, honor the soul urges that have been coming up for you. And like I said, please join us at the link in the bio if you'd like to be in community, if you'd like to get that full workshop and you want to hear more in depth about this and do a meditation and a ritual together to lock in this energy, because I think we could all use a fresh beginning right now. We could all use that light, that peace of mind right now, and that gathering. So, happy new moon in Aries, and I will be back at you with more content pretty much on the daily these days. So check it out. Check out all the links below, and I hope to see you back here soon. Bye.